All right, guys, welcome back to the Go&FUN esports tournament for League of Legends here at gamers.com.mt. I'm Alex Magical Voice, joined in by Ender L for the final game of the day.
Yeah, and on the blue side, I think we just gotta say right here, we've got Edge. These guys won the last tournament we got to cast here in Malta. They are incredibly strong players all across the board. There are a couple of changes. Cypher is with them now in the mid lane. You might recognize Toby down in the bottom lane. He is formerly known as Caitlyn Snow. Now with the name change, same guy, new name.
Yep. So it will be interesting to see how they play here. Hopefully we'll see them come into the same form that we did see them last time. They're going to be a very strong team to pretty much predict to go very far into this tournament. But we will see if Potato Peelers can get a win off of them right here. They're going to try their best as we get into the bans. We have the Fiora, Blitzcrank, and Thresh taken away by the side of Edge, while we see Potato Peelers taking away the Nautilus, the Kog'Maw, and we are waiting their last ban.
Yeah, a couple of support bans target on those hookers down in the bottom lane. I mean, we even lost the Nautilus, so literally no hooks left in this
Feels
game.
bad, man.
So, yeah, I know. You just it sucks, man. But you got to do what you got to do here. And the Lulu first pick. I mean, it's standard. We know this champion to be incredibly, incredibly powerful, and paired up with pretty much anything, it's gonna get the job done.
Very true. The Karma is still left on the table, so Potato Peelers do have that option if they want to go for that, since we have talked about the support pool being really pinched this game. We do seem to have some nice trolls going in with 2 smites. That'd be actually really fun to cast if they both
Let's
took
just
smite.
get 2 junglers.
Come on, that's the dream. It's not, though we do have the Twitch being locked in for the side of the Potato Peelers.
Yeah, Twitch is one of those champions too that really likes the Blade of the Ruined King, especially now after some of those changes changed to it. It's a late game character that absolutely can just pop off, and it also has some potential around that mid game to either start off fights or have that big spray and pray to really wreck the enemy's backlines.
Yeah, as well as that Warwick. This is the reworked Warwick. So it will be really fun to cast. I've cast 2 games of the new Warwick. I actually really love playing him personally. I think he's a great jungler. Not like the best tier. We still have the Graves. We still have the Rengar and Kha'Zix that are left on the table, not banned away at all. Wouldn't be surprised to see Washed Up Kid go for one of those. But Warwick is fun to watch regardless.
Yeah, he's one of the good tank junglers still left around. You've got probably Gragas, and then Warwick. There's not a whole lot more than that you see. Every once in a while, like so last game, the Zac will pop up, but if you guys couldn't tell, I'm not necessarily a fan of that champion. But on the other side, we're getting much more aggressive picks.
Yeah, we have that Rengar as well as that Lucian going to be locked in. The Lucian, I think, is definitely something that is strong right now. We've talked about this before, the Blade of the Ruined King, and how it really fits into Lucian as the meta, but before we get into that, we have the Yasuo being locked in, which is a very surprising pick to me, as well as that Bard in the bot lane.
Yeah, that's not just a Yasuo pick. That is a blind Yasuo pick. We still don't technically know whether it's going to be top lane or mid lane, but I don't think you want to ever send a Yasuo into a Renekton. That just sounds like bad things waiting to happen. And even in the mid lane, I don't see how he's ever going to be able to land a tornado onto a Katarina.
Unless we see some misplays coming in from Cypher in that mid lane on the Katarina, that's the only way. But we do have the Vladimir being locked in. What actually is interesting, is that going to be a top lane Vlad?
My guess is yes. Initially, I didn't think so, but with Jan Manek holding the TP right now, I assume he is going to be taking that one for himself up into the top lane. Still 40 seconds left that they could go ahead and change that around, but if you're going to have a good matchup for your Yasuo, I think it's better to send him into the mid lane, because against the Renekton, you just can't damage him. He's going to have way too much sustain, and the point-click CC makes it so that all your fancy moves are basically for nothing.
Yeah, very true. But either way, it's going to be really hard for the Yasuo. There are no knockups coming in from the side of Potato Peeler to really help out the Yasuo as well. I liked a lot of their comp to begin with, then they picked Yasuo. And Yasuo really needs a lot of setup in order to get ahead, especially with how early they pick that up, especially blind.
Yeah, you know what I really like about their comp? It's the Vladimir plus Twitch, because Vladimir, the Hemoplague, obviously gives you the damage amplification. Any target hit by that ability will take increased percentage damage, and Twitch is going to be able to hit all those targets with his ridiculous long range. That's all going to be AoE, of course, so I really do like that. And at the same time, maybe Warwick and Yasuo can cause enough disruption that that's actually a really difficult thing for them to deal with. But then you shift your focus to this blue side draft, and you've got 4 or 3 champions that are just going to be diving into your backline. So this backline disruption we said might exist actually just doesn't, because your guys are going to be getting dove on even harder. The Lucian too, he's so low range that he's going to be up in your face with this Lulu. It's going to be hard, I think, to actually make headway in these fights unless you just get some gorgeous setup by the Vlad Twitch.
The Vlad Twitch, or even coming in from the Warwick, if we do see a really nice pick, maybe onto Panda Opa on that Lucian, or maybe even onto Cypher if he gets caught out by a good infinite duress coming in from that Warwick, definitely could bring enough disruption right there that it stops them if they burst that person down before they actually are able to engage. Then we see the side of Edge really on the back burner, not sure what to do, but how we have talked about Edge before and going into this match now, I don't see that as too likely.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. One thing that I think the Warwick has a little bit over the Rengar is potential to maybe have some earlier ganks. Again, both these junglers are going to be a lot more powerful when they do hit level 6, but if there is some fighting in the early stages of the game between the actual laners, which I do expect there to be, there's a lot of aggressive picks that we're already seeing, he gets that blood trail, blood scent, and really can get the movement speed into the fear. That's one of the best things about his new kit, actually, is the ability to get in quickly, use that fear to try and set up some plays.
Yeah, but before we get in the game, I want to give one more shout out to our sponsors. We have GO&FUN Energy Drink, who are sponsoring the tournament, and we have the namesake for them. We have also the Point Shopping Mall, Costa Coffee, Smart Car Malta, Hugo's Burgers, Urban Jungle, JobsInMalta.com, and The Powerhouse. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring this tournament and letting us bring this to everyone here on Twitch. And we look forward to this final game tonight between Edge and Potato Peelers.
Yeah, I would also like to say that a little bit different from last season we got to cast. So we're actually doing games on Wednesdays as well. So you're getting actually twice as much League of Legends per week, if you guys can believe it. So, 2-for-1 deal. I know you guys are, jumping out of your chairs for that news, but definitely a lot of League of Legends we're going to bring to you. And even though today the matchups have been heavily one-sided, as we progress through this season, I expect things to even out a little bit more, especially once we get into playoffs.
Yeah, once we get out of the groups more into the actual quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals, that's when we're going to start seeing really the top quality of the gameplay, because that's when you're going to have those teams that we've talked about, the undefeated teams that we saw last time in the tournament, as well as the second seeds who I think every one of them actually went 3-1. There was no tie that we had to worry about. So we have these teams that are very good at playing the game and know how to play it in a more professional and competitive style. So it will be really interesting to see how it goes, especially with a team like Edge or a team like Steel Steeds or like Hayes that we saw earlier, the first game of the matchup today.
Yeah, I would also like to say that there's absolutely no Keystone Mastery variation. I believe we have 5 Thunderlords and 5 Fervors of Battles, so it's going to be an aggressive game. No defense whatsoever from either of these teams. They just want to fight, and have a little bit more fight.
Well, isn't the best defense a good offense? Isn't that how it works?
It absolutely is. You are right.
But isn't also the best offense a good defense?
You know what? The best offense is winning. The best defense is winning before you get beaten. So there you have it. That's my top tier high level analysis for you guys.
Yes. It's also a good philosophical quandary that we can bring to ourselves. What is the meaning of winning? Yeah. What is the true meaning of winning if you have
the Nexus.
But what if you never lose?
They blew it!
Yeah, so they did blow it. Washed Up Kid jumped a little too early. They do get a little bit of damage onto Whoopers as we had
That
Army.
sure was a magical journey right there.
That was, yeah, that was actually really cool. That went the whole length.
I
of
wish
that.
they'd all taken it, because typically the reason why you don't follow on a magical journey is because Bard will just stun you on the end of it. But it's level 1. Bard started E, so now he can't actually stun you. I don't know, just my thoughts.
Thoughts with Ender L and Magical
Yes.
Voice. As we get into this game, we did see an attempted invade coming in from the side of Edge, but it definitely was stopped and thwarted by Washed Up Kid, their own teammate, jumping a little too early onto Whoops. Had they waited a little bit more, they probably could have gotten that kill easily.
Right. No summoners actually burnt off that level 1, so really the only disadvantage that Whoops is going to be at is that he did start the E level 1, so in a lane that we already probably expected the Lucian Lulu to have a little bit more dominance, they're actually entering the lane right away, so they'll have the early shove because Whoops and Kinetic are busy leashing, but also the E start, and Washed Up Kid is actually in the area going for
Yeah,
a
he
smite
wants to go for a smite steal.
steal? What?
Doesn't get it. We see that.
That's so troll!
Albert got it. So now we see that Wash Up Kid's going to be at a disadvantage. And this is something you don't want to do. You don't want to give a disrespect to your opponent, because if you get yourself behind, they can punish you and you can get upset easily.
Washed Up Kid is actually trolling. Like, I have no idea why he would actually do something like that, because maybe in the old days where junglers would perhaps smite buffs early on, that could be a possibility, but no one smites their first camp anymore. Yes, you forced Zalbet to do that, but this Warwick has no problem sustaining, and now you're set significantly behind. 2 camps behind, actually.
He is 2 camps behind, but the one thing about Rengar is he has better AoE clear than the Work will have, so he should be able to actually catch up fairly well, and we do see that he opted to skip the chickens and go for the wolves to the blue buff. Might try to contest over that scuttle.
Yeah, well, I mean, typically Warwicks just like to do the full clear of the jungle and not actually look for any early ganks. And one of the changes that actually happened to Rengar was that he only gets 75% of his heal, his W, when it's used against monsters. And he also lost 3 base armor, so he's going to take significantly more damage than he would have in the past. And we should shut him down a little bit in this early game.
Yeah, but right now we don't see that it being too much of a problem, as we see in the bot lane we have Panda and Toby able to really get a good push. In the mid lane we actually see Cypher able to really bully around that Yasuo lonely attacker, trying to do what he can to the Katarina, but not having the easiest time.
Cypher actually might be in trouble here.
Yeah, we actually saw Cypher in a little bit of an issue, but now in the top lane we have Armia getting ganked by Albert, but Albert not able to get that taunt on. And now we have Washed Up Kid in the area, though we have Armia taking a lot of damage. Flash for flash. We might have the first blood going over the Janmak, as we do have the Rengar picking up 1 kill in the mid lane. We also saw that Cypher was able to get the kill on to Lonely Attacker. Now he's trying to fight Washed Up Kid, the flash into the bush. He wants to get over there, but he doesn't have what he needs. That is going to be 2 kills going over to Janman.
Oh, baby, this one is looking like it's gonna be fun right here. Washed Up Kid, really awkward going for that fight right there, because Army and Washed Up Kid were very low to start things off, and the Vladimir was able to stay. Now he's got a blue plus red buff.
Oof. But look in the bot lane. We see Toby doing a good amount of damage to Whoops, getting him very low. And we also have to talk about in the mid lane, we saw Cypher able to get the kill on to Lonely Attacker. So having that Katarina already with the kill, having started with the Dark Seal, so 2 stacks going already in favor of that Katarina, going to be really hard for the Yasuo.
I'm not even going to ask how that kill actually happened, because Cypher actually used his flash to escape from a tornado. He didn't use his ignite to get the kill, and Lonely Attacker still has his own flash up. So I want to say that it has something to do with this pause right here, because otherwise I have no idea how this Katarina actually picked up that kill.
Cypher actually didn't use the flash before. He used the Shunpo.
I'm pretty sure I saw the flash animation.
Oh yeah, I thought I saw Shunpo. You might be right, but if that's the case, yeah, I don't know what Lonely Attacker was doing in that mid lane. You can't fight this Katarina really early on. But all in all, I'd say it's a win across the map for the side of Potato Peelers. The only problem being is that even though Jan Manic was able to get those 2 kills. He's really behind in CS, and kills early on don't actually amount to much.
Yeah, oh, look out. Oops, that's not a fight you want to take against the big bad kitty cat right there. But
but Cypher going to be fighting in the mid lane, getting that ignite on to Lonely Attacker. Needed one more auto, not going to be able to complete that kill onto Lonely Attacker. He flashed away, got himself to safety. But the fact that this Katarina is still winning so handedly in this mid lane is very telling for the side of Potato Peelers, that they need to make some sort of play onto this Katarina before she just starts face rolling over the whole team.
Yeah, and right now I don't even think that's where they're at the biggest disadvantage. This bottom lane is going horrendously. 40 CS to 20. That turret has already been taken down below half HP. This is bad.
And look at the damage they just did to that poor Twitch. They got the heal, not the flash, but still getting one summoner out of that Twitch, forcing him back. Going to continue the CS lead for Panda, Opa, and Toby.
Yeah, I honestly think Panda can pick up this turret very, very soon. All you really need is Washed Up Kid to get over into the area, force Whoops and Kinetic off that tower, and you are looking at a free chunk of gold. Use that to rotate into the rest of the map. This is an Infernal Drake even, too, so the snowball potential is definitely present.
Yeah, oh yeah, very present. And I don't even know if you need to send Washed Up Kid into that bot lane. We see that Panda, Opa, and Toby are able to do so much work by themselves. The only time you really need that is if you're afraid that Albert is going to be roaming into that bot lane looking for a gank, especially with how far pushed up they are. But the problem is all the lanes on the side of Edge are pushing up, so Albert really doesn't have options.
Yeah, and I'm just sort of looking at this top lane because it's a lane we didn't really get to see much of after that double kill. All of a sudden, there's only 20 CS on 27 CS on Jan Manic. He got this double kill. He should be destroying in the 1v1 up there. He had double buffs, and he's losing to Armia. That's no gold lead for him.
Yeah, but look at Cypher in the mid lane. They're going to go for Lonely Attacker. Give that kill over to the Katarina. Going to have another kill. And possibly, just to go back to the Renekton and why he might be ahead, is he does have that Tiamat. He's able to do a great job in shoving in Janmatic consistently into that tower, and maybe the Vladimir just not being able to see us well enough under that under the objective.
I don't buy that. It's incredibly easy to see us with Vladimir.
I'm just trying to give excuses.
You know, at the same time, you've got a red buff. Like, Armia just shouldn't be able to walk up to that wave. That just shouldn't be
look
real.
at this. Cypher coming in the bot lane. They're going on to Kinetic. Matic took a lot of damage, did not die. There was no ignite force.
Yeah, well, here comes Washed Up Kid.
But he's going in.
Wow.
Got stunned up by that good binding coming in from Whoops, but they are pressuring. That was the thrill of the hunt. They get the kill. They're going to pick up 2 of them. Double kill going over to Cypher. 4 kills, 8 stacks on that Dark Seal. They are just using this Katarina to carry them, getting themselves that first tower.
Yep, and there's your tower. Dragon should be soon to follow as well. This bottom lane just absolutely having a terrible time for the side of the Potato Peelers, and I don't know, they're just still pushing in that bottom lane, trying to deny as many minions as possible to keep this Twitch on literally just no items.
That's honestly the smartest thing that they could possibly do. You want to make sure that Twitch is absolutely useless, because you talked about how he does scale up well into the mid lanes. Well, he needs items in order to do that.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much a given on AD carries. AD carries don't want levels, they want items. That's when they really come online.
Armia, he's looking for a possible dive. Hemoblade coming out, but does he have the burst potential? That is going to be healed up by Janmatic, so Janmatic getting himself another kill. Armia going way too heavy on that one.
Yeah, that's a head scratcher right there, to be sure. I guess he wanted to make up for all the CS that Janmatic was missing in that lane by handing him another free kill underneath that turret. Still not going to change too much in the grand scheme of the game, but that is a 3-kill Vladimir, and that can be scary later on.
And I'm actually kind of questioning the build coming in right now for Janmatic. He has himself the Phoenix Codex, as well as the Amplifying Toe.
Oh no.
Oh no. We both were questioning that, and then we see that.
I thought it was a Zhonya's, and even then, like, that wasn't going to be a good choice, but at least it was, like, defensive good at some point.
Yeah, but look at this jungle, the Infinite Duress.
Look at that
is a lot of
sustain.
healing coming in for Albert, but he has to flash in. Flash coming in from Washed Up Kid. Talk about the damage. It doesn't matter if you can sustain it all. The damage came through for Rain Guard.
Oh,
Now we
no.
have Lonely
Oh,
Attacker
no.
coming in, fighting, but Toby is there as well. Wild Growth to keep Wash Up Kid alive. Genmatic just going to try to see what he can do. Exhaust coming in from Toby to just delay. As Panda Oppa, he is in the area. They're going to have enough damage. They're going to get the shutdown onto the Lucian. He's going to be able to pick himself up a red buff as well.
That's a tilter. You don't expect the dual lane to rotate top when there's an Infernal Drake on the map, but because Edge are just so far ahead, all these lanes are shoving, there's not an opportunity for the potato peelers to actually get that Drake for themselves. They just lose more members, more turrets are going to go down here. And I hate to say it, but the Abyssal Scepter first item not paying off for the Vladimir.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that build at all. I think we saw Piglet build that way, and a lot of people criticized him for that as well. I would have preferred the Spirit Visage, but look at that. Cypher and Armia just going for an easy dive. We might see the kill. No, Cypher able to turn that back on to that forward, as we do see finally the Renekton going down to the Yasuo, but Cypher was able to live and kind of wanted to turn it back around onto Lonely again, having himself that Hextech Gunblade. Here comes the Thrill of the Hunt. Easy kill for Washed Up Kid.
That feels bad.
Right now, everything is just falling apart. Look at the gold difference at 11 minutes into the game. We're at almost 9,000 gold in favor of Edge. There's a 6-0-1 Katarina on the field. And even though we've seen some misplays coming in from Armia consistently, we have seen that Cypher has not been having that issue at all.
And I hate to say it, but we sort of saw this one coming. Edge, these guys are ridiculously good, and it's hard to match up against these guys. You just give out that one advantage in the early game. I mean, even Janimel, he got all the kills he needed, but just in the lane, every single lane so far in favor of Edge. Cypher even upgraded his Dark Seal into a measure, so he's just going to snowball off the face of the earth.
Yeah, look at this. They're already pressuring this tier 2 in the mid lane. There's 4 members from the side of Potato Peelers, and we see that Toby and Cypher, they're not deterred at all.
Not even in the slightest. Armia, this poor guy, he's 0-3. He is the resident feeder for these guys. Oh!
Yeah, but look at this. Wash Up Kid's going to go really far in, getting exhausted by Whoops, but here comes Cypher. He's going to be able to pick up a kill, wanting to get a second one. He does get a double kill, stacking up to 18 on that match.
22.
And that's going to be 22 for Cypher. 9-0-1. That's usually where people in bronze start saying GG.
Yeah, this is where you start placing your bets. How quickly can Edge actually close out this game? It's 13 minutes in. They're about to be knocking on the door of the base towards the Potato Peelers. They can just continue to go top lane because their duo down bottom lane on the other side of the map has Zalbet and Kinetic Matic just pinned there.
Yeah, and Whoops getting dove on by Cypher. That's the 25 stack dream. Gonna have so much damage. Armia wanting to go further, maybe trying to int a little bit too much and try to help out the enemy team.
Oh,
but
baby.
We have Cypher. He's going really deep.
Oh,
Cypher!
Cypher!
They get the shutdown. They get 10 stacks off of him. Armia, you went way too far and baited that poor Katarina.
Yeah, he got baited by Armia. That's all his fault. Armia actually has 5 deaths. Cypher, that doesn't count as 1 right there. But I mean, still, it's an inhibitor turret. 14 minutes. I guess that's mission successful right there. And still a 12k gold.
We saw Washed Up Kid use the Thrill of the Hunt. He wanted to go on to Lonely Attacker right there.
I would have supported that decision.
Going with
underneath the towers, yep.
200 health, going right under
probably
the tower.
250, yeah.
250 right around there. That would have been smart.
I would have supported that decision wholeheartedly right there.
All right, well, we're not playing my solo queue games. Those are something we should never mention because they're horrible. But we're going back into this game as we see the Phantom Dancer picked up by a Lonely Attacker, finally having himself a full item, not really having that much damage under his belt. Well, Cypher is, I'm thinking, is pathing towards that Luden's Echo.
Luden's, Rabadon's, Archangel Staff, who knows, who cares at this point.
Yeah, well,
Cypher,
look at that.
Cypher can build anything. He's just going to be so massively ahead because of the efficiency of having 15 stacks plus on his Mejai's that he's gonna hurt, to say the least.
Dude, this is why I never understand how people can play Katarina. She runs out of mana so fast. Look at that. Cypher just got into the lane and he's already out of mana.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't understand, man.
Yeah, that's a good one right there.
I know, I'm funny.
I'm
I
laughing.
try. I can tell
I'm laughing. You know who's not laughing?
Who?
Potato peelers.
This is factual. Well, maybe whenever Armia does try to dive, they are.
That's true. We're all laughing whenever Armia goes under those towers.
Yeah, but we saw the tempered fate. Not the temp. Yeah, tempered fate coming in from Whoops a little too early, so he loses his life. We have Cypher just going really far in. Wow. So much damage coming in. He gets that wind wall out of them as he does help pick up the kill onto Lonely Attacker. Now Kinetic is going to be the next target, giving that kill over to the Katarina. That is going to be the 25 stack dream back. Genmatic going to fight over Panda, as Panda is going to be able to have that damage over him. The Abyssal Scepter is what was picked up, so that is not going to help you against Illusion.
Armia got the kill. That's the only victory Edge needed. 3 inhibitors don't even amount to the success that Armia is feeling right now.
Yeah, it is 16 minutes into the game. 2, about to be 3 inhibitors are down. Do you think there's a way that Potato Peeler can come back into this game?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's 16 minutes in, all inhibitors down. This is something else. Oh, Wash Up Kid. Oh, is he gonna do it? He should do it.
Oh, Armia's back's been stopped. That could be it right there. But for Potato Peelers, they gotta look at this game and they gotta figure out exactly where it all went wrong. And honestly, it was that snowball in the mid lane that really just, as well as I'd say a little bit in the bot lane, we saw Panda Opa and Achobi just able to push in Kinetic and Whoops consistently, never really having to consider them a threat the whole game. There's no pressure that they could bring. And we saw Albert not really able to bring that pressure into the bot lane or do anything to really help out that Twitch and that Bard.
It's just been the narrative all day long. The team with the more skilled individual laners just completely runs you over. No team has been allowed to stall it out past the 25-minute mark, and thus they don't actually get a chance to try and show off their composition, try and pull back after having a weak laning phase. And these teams just have to figure out some way, if you are bested, not to give up multiple kills, just to stop the bleeding, sacrifice some CS, but do not die.
At the same time, we have to look at the individual skill that was brought in by the side of Edge, especially from
It's a dance
Cypher.
party!
It's a dance party. Look at the ward party that's going on. They're just letting Winions, because it's 18 minutes. We do not have the damage on the side of Potato
Oh
Peeler.
my god!
So all they're doing is padding the KDA of Edge right now, and they're letting Winions win the game because they can't.
My god!
What can the side of Potato Peelers do to doubled up Baron minions in all 3 lanes? There's nothing they can do. They don't have the damage at this point, and we see that it's going to end. But my point is, we need to look at this game and see, for the side of Potato Peelers, how they can better themselves coming into this tournament and possibly get themselves in to the next stage and out of the groups. And honestly, they need to play the laning phase much better and have a lot of respect, because Edge is just going to completely dominate otherwise.
I think the only point in this game is going to be the top lane. Genmatic was gifted 3 free kills and wasn't able to use that. Like, not even just to carry the game, but to beat Armia in the 1 versus 1. If Armia wasn't diving the towers, he wasn't dying. And even though we were sort of, memeing, joking about Armia the whole time, he was still crushing him in CS. And that meant that the kills were not actually a gold advantage for Genmatic. Other than that, I really think the only solution is to shake this one off. Clearly, you were bested. Edge, you can't feel bad losing to these guys because they are just that good. You have to shrug it off, move on to the next game, and try to come out as the 2nd seed in your group.
Yeah, really, that's really your goal right now. You got to just figure out how to play it better, as well as any team that's looking at this, how to pick apart the side of Potato Peelers. But we will have to find out how everything goes later in the tournament. We will be back on Wednesday for more games, but that's going to do it for us here today. I'm Alex Magical Voice, joined in by the one, the only Ender L. It was fun casting these games, even though they went by like that.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday again, kicking that one off. Same time, same place. It was a pleasure. Have a good night.